Carl here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. I'm going to start this review off with a little story. Go back a few years ago, I saw While She Sleeps play the Roundhouse, London Roundhouse, on the Soul Walk tour. I think it was the day of release. And they had a lot of support bands, bands like Trash Bell, and this band, Straight From The Path. I didn't really know anything about them, but was there early enough to see them, and I loved them. I fell immediately in love with this band, thought they were immense at a show. Arguably, it's probably more memorable, Straight From The Path, more memorable than While She Sleeps was. I've seen While She Sleeps a few times around that show, and they're more memorable than they were at this show. Straight From The Path stood out, and it kind of made me a fan, and it's continued from there. So with this new album, when I saw Euthanasia was coming out this week and it came my way, thought, yep, gotta check this one out. Really like this band. Hopefully gonna love this album. And big surprise, I really do.
In the land of opportunity, we'll qualify immunity. Keep your head down like a little community. Tell you to face up when your face is getting laced. From the hip, always aiming for the...
Straight From The Path, they've been unleashing their furious blend of hardcore aggression and outspoken social-political lyricism over a decade or so, striving to be the kind of band that can offer an entry point to both heavy music and radical ideas, and achieving an impressive level of longevity in the process. They've been around long enough, they've got a hardcore fan base. But now their latest album, Euthanasia, finds the New York and UK based group in significantly darker territory, fractured by unprecedented circumstances, physical distance, and even a literal broken back. Straight From The Path have produced what is probably their most personal record yet. It will be released September 9th, 2022 via UNFD. Now, dark times, dark situations, they breed dark thoughts. And with Euthanasia, Straight From The Path kind of look to exercise some of those demons, coming up with what is, I think, their most intense and personal record to date. One that also happens to be rawer and more abrasive, while still delivering on the modern hardcore explosivity that has made this band so beloved. All those elements are there, just wrapped up in a harsher package, I think. But it is that exciting explosion, that stuff they deliver, that greets on the massive hardcore pit opener, that is Needful Things. Straight From The Path unleashing instrumental bedlam, alongside a chorus that will get even the fatigued and stricken masses up and moving. The speed and energy continue into May You Live Forever, building up the tension until Straight From The Path unleash a cacophony of heavy noise, then dropping the tempo for 3, but remaining undeniably intense as the guitars soar with serrated power and the vocals spit and snarl with believable passion. Each track showing just how focused on this darker path Straight From The Path are. Though any chance to open up a hardcore pit, this band, oh my god, this band, it is well and truly taken. And with Guillotine, they craft one of their most memorable, This Is A Beast, a track that is going to be utter carnage in a live environment. This is a ticket seller track for me alone. Just one track, I'm like, I've got to see how this shit plays out live. But if you can believe it, things do get even more chaotic and intense from this point onward.
As quick as I contemplate, when it drops, it can't be stopped. No blood just in case I take. Just I can guarantee. As quick as I contemplate, when it drops, it can't be stopped.
First, with the scornful, honest, and severe sound of Chest Candy. Then with Bread and Roses, where Stick To Your Guns' Jesse Barnett adds his immense vocal talents to proceedings, giving this one a more melodramatic flavour. Followed then by Law Abiding Citizen, a track with a little more groove to the rhythm, because that's not something this album has a lot of. It doesn't have lots of groove, so to get it here is really cool. But there's still a sharpness to the lyrics that cut right through. It's a smart and welcome change of pace, even if it's temporary, as Straight From The Path end up coming back from that with furious aplomb on the soul in your spit. The tempo shifted again, the rhythm quite disjointed, but the fire still ever so present here. And at this point it's kind of clear this is not a straightforward experience, but it has been a joy to wallow with Straight From The Path in the mire that resulted in the creation of Euthanasia. Even at their darkest, they still managed to deliver massive hardcore anthems, and nowhere is that better shown than with the brazen ferocity of Neighborhood Watch. The penultimate track, this one, For me, it re-energizes the mind, body and spirit, particularly in anticipation for what comes next, which is the 6+ minute blend of electrifying hardcore heaviness, eccentric effects and subtle touches of cinematic flamboyance. It is incredibly anthemic, but it's also deceptively detailed, a track that warrants a more studious listen, but also one that I think is more deserving. It's a big risky ending, a big massive sound that really ends up wanting to sit there with a notepad and take notes and sort of see what you're finding as you listen to it on multiple occasions. It's icing on the cake, because what a fantastic release this is. Straight from the path, do exercise the demons of the past few years in spectacular style, delivering something that is authentically them, but with an intensity that may never be experienced again. Of course, the situation and scenario that surrounds the creation of this album is something we can all hope never ever comes about again. It probably won't, at least to the extent how it affected Stray from the Path. So this is always going to feel like quite an important, a specific album in their career. That makes it a necessary listen, particularly if you're a fan of this band. You've been a fan for a long time. It is raw, it is more abrasive, it is harsher to the ears, but it still has these massive anthemic numbers. It is a very impressive release of this band. It continues to make me feel connected to them. It continues to make me a fan. I'm excited to see what comes from this. I'm excited to see how these tracks play out in the live environment. It is Euthanasia. It's out on September 9th by UNFD. Check it out. Come back here. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?